this. All right. All right. Hello, everybody. How you doing today? It's a new day. It's a fresh day. I hope you're up, shaking and baking. So I always say that all my guests are amazing, but this dude is badass. Toby, when I saw your profile on Instagram, I was like, no, I've got to interview this gentleman. And then I got the courage to send him a DM, and hey, here we are. So I know you're very, very busy. Your time is very limited on this interview. So let me get straight into it. So Toby, my first question for you is that your entry into the real estate industry is very, very interesting. It was through a friend of yours who was an agent.
Yes.
and then you came into the industry, but I like the point whereby you said you were dissatisfied with the way marketing was being done. It was that dissatisfaction. And then you started asking yourself questions. I believe in the power of questions. You said there was a better way for it. There's a better way for this. And that started your genesis in your journey. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, 100%. So like you said, it was a friend of mine who was an agent at the time. He kind of invited me to an open house. Ended up visiting the home. At first, I didn't know it was an open house. I just thought he was inviting me to his flat. Saw the space, it was great, kind of was hanging out with him and seeing how he was working. And I just thought, you know what, this is interesting. You know, I would like to kind of be involved in this somehow. You know, being able to see physical assets, also being able to find people their dream homes. It just made sense.
Yeah.
Fast forwarding, ended up stumbling into the industry myself. And yeah, like you said, in the UK, it was very outdated in a way that they were, you know, just servicing clients, the marketing, everything was very old school. You know? And the question I asked was, you know what, how can I do this differently? I saw what my friend was doing and it made sense. It was personable. He was quite, you know, innovative with marketing. He wasn't doing anything too, you know, flashy or extreme, but just even the photos were a lot better than what was being produced, you know, in my age, in my corporate firm. So I was just like, you know what, how can I change this? How can I step this up? How can I make this more appealing? And that was where I decided, look, I have to do this a different way, because if I do it how I'm currently doing it, it's going to take, you know, a lot of hurdles, a lot of steps, maybe a lot of time, just to do, you know, simple edits in terms of how I was working. So yeah, so that was really it. That was really kind of the spark, which kind of created.
I like that.
Yeah, my current business.
Fantastic. So the big idea is that so those of you who are listening, Toby used the word spark. Follow your sparks intensely. You never can tell where they will lead you to.
Oh, 100%.
You never can tell. You never can tell where they'll lead you to. So, Toby, the next question I want to ask you is that if you had to do it all over again, knowing what you now know now, which skill would you develop first, quickly? And which skill will you cultivate like immediately?
That's a great one. I think if I had to start again, it would be communications. I mean, I feel like, you know, I studied communications in school.
Okay.
But with that being said, I don't think that, you know, it had as much of an impact. I think that what really helped was when I was in uni, I was also working as an events coordinator on the side, as like a side job when I wasn't in school.
Awesome.
So with that, there was a lot of kind of cold outreach, you know, going up to people. I see. Yeah, it was a lot of rejection. I
love that.
It was cold sales. Essentially, it was cold sales what I was doing.
Brilliant.
And that skill set I believe that skill set, being able to handle rejection, and the communication you learn through that is probably the most powerful thing. So if I could start again, I would say I would double down on that process. Just going through cold sales, dealing with no's, and then transferring that into something more, I don't know, which you could potentially build a business from or monetize in a way that makes sense. But I would say cold communications, learning how to handle cold communications is a very strong asset. It's a very, very strong skill set.
Fantastic.
To develop.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of what happened last weekend. I took my 3 sons, on a church trip. So I told them to distribute flyers to invite people on the streets.
Oh wow! That's what I was doing. That's what I was doing. Except I was just using my mouth. I would just like to come to
Yes. So they got rejection. I'm like, Dad, they rejected me. I said, no, you've got to take those rejection until you get a yes. And they kept going until they started getting yeses and yeses and yeses. So I was very glad about that experience for them.
There you go. That's amazing. Oh, that's strong.
Yeah. Because
dealing with those no's.
Toby, I always tell people that if you can sell, you'll never be broke another day of your life.
100%. Yeah. Because it's the core of how things move.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Now, speaking of that mental model again, that mindset, you sent out 60 of your resume to 60 organizations. I'm like, yo!
Yeah. So
tell me about that. So do you think that's volume, man?
So I remember it like it was yesterday. And I decided, look, I'm going into real estate. So I need to figure out who I'm going to work for pretty soon, because I've just finished uni. I don't have a job. But this is something I would like to do. So I decided, okay, every morning at 8 o'clock, I'm going to wake up and send an email just before it hits 9. So it's the first email
that they see.
Whoever's inbox that
brilliant.
I'm sending it to.
Timing.
So I did 10 every day for 10 days, except the weekend. So I did 5 for the first 5 days, and then obviously another 5 the next week. So I sent out about 60 to 100. I think it was shy of 100.
Wow.
And I got about 10 to 20 calls, 3 or 4 interviews, and then I got about 2 offers. So
wow.
It was just the numbers game.
That's serious agency. That's serious personal agency, because the average person will not do that.
Oh no.
That's a powerful offensive mindset. It's an offensive mindset that I'm not going to wait for my ship to come in. I'm going to go out there and get what I want.
100%. Because I knew that, look, there's tens of hundreds of people that come from a similar background.
That's right.
As me, doing way better than me. All I can really do is go out there and try.
That's right.
Go out there and try and contact as many people as possible. Because 1, 5, 10, that wasn't enough for me. It had to be more. Fantastic.
Toby, there's something you said that I just paused when I heard it. When I was researching, you said that you sold 2 luxury houses from TikTok.
Yes.
I was like, yo. Because you know why I'm coming. You know why? Because this is a tool that people think is for people that just dance.
Oh no!
This is a tool that people think is just for Gen Zs or millennial people. So what you're proving right now is that this is serious. Because I heard Ryan Serhant say that he did the crazy numbers he did in real estate in New York, billions of dollars, man, from social media and TikTok. I was like, yo. So tell me more about that. How did that feel?
Oh man, amazing, and it's funny how it came. So. My first deals that I closed through TikTok came from a family that was migrating from the Middle East to London. And they contacted me. They said, "Hey, Toby, I've seen your videos on TikTok.
Jesus.
This is what we're looking for. Can you help me?"
Whoa.
So within 2 weeks of that initial email
conversation,
I ended up finding them. They needed 2 apartments in a luxury building. In central London called One Blackfriars. It's quite a famous development. Ended up finding them the properties, closing the deal. Incredible. And speaking of that, I've just closed another one. I want to post about it this evening. And that was initially the buyer contacted me. The property was, double figures, millions.
Yeah.
And they didn't pick that specific property. But we did end up closing on something else at a lower price point. But still, it just shows that like you said, the app is very serious in a sense that what people think is they think that it's an app that's for kids. It's for dancing. It's a website.
Come on, brother. That just hit me right now. Like it's a website.
It's a platform.
Yeah.
Right. So just like anything else, just like Google.
Yeah.
Just like Rightmove, Zoopla, these property websites. It's a platform.
It is, man.
So if people are on that platform and the amount of people are increasing because of its popularity, that means that you should be on that platform. You should be marketing your business and your services. It's that simple. So that's how I saw it.
Wow.
And that's just kind of how I went about it. And it's funny because when I started, I wasn't trying to sell anything. I was literally just
adding value.
Adding value. I was providing information, education, and most importantly, entertainment, just to soften it up, because no one likes to get sold to. So I just thought, look, let me showcase things. Let me provide value.
That's right.
And from that, it kind of stirred up. And the thing is like Gary Vee says, is that intent is real. So people recognize intent. People know what you're about, or if you're a bit sleazy. Because we're like almost like animals. We can smell.
Yes, that's right. The pheromones, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Exactly. So my intent was always good.
Brilliant.
My intent was, look, I want to provide value. I want to start a business, and I want to help people. And I think that's kind of what's humbly, that's what's brought me to where I am, is because my intent has always been good.
So powerful, so powerful, man. So powerful. Let's just drop into a quick ad break quickly for 15 seconds. Is that okay?
Of course.
All right, guys. So this episode of the Paulful Podcast was brought to you by the Air Health Studio by Anytime. Anytime is a trichologist and the UK's first air coach. She's running a multi-million-pound business, just teaching people and producing manufacturing products that help you have healthy air. They've got great products like hair follicle treatments, protein defense for your hair, and others great products. But guess what? They just opened a new studio in West London, and the good people of Air Health Studio says that they're going to give you some sort of advantage if you use my code. That is Paul7, PAULFO. So PAUL7. I'm going to put their website in the show notes, and then you click on that website. It takes you straight to their sites, and you get some goodies because of me. The website again is airstudio.co.uk. More details will be in the show notes. In this new studio, they've got 5 coaches, they've got 2 trichologists and 1 dermatologist. So you're going to have a good time. So back to the show. Hi, Toby. Toby, you once said that, I realized that you're a book person like me. I'm a bookworm. I love to read. Books have brought me where I am today. I used to hawk recharge card on the streets of Port Harcourt. They play called Port Harcourt in Nigeria. I was living on less than $1 a day. And I can tell you for free, I'm a person of faith and also books. They brought me to where I am today. So I keep reading. I love it. And then you said that you read a book a month, which is 12 books a year. That's serious. And I like that. And then you now said that there were 2 books that really resonated with you a lot, that you learned a lot from. One is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And one of my all-time favorites is Ryan Holiday's book, Ego is the Enemy.
Oh, yeah.
Ego is the enemy. So you said that really helped you a lot, because one of the Ryan Holiday's book that really helped me is called The Obstacle is the Way. That was one of his books where he talked about memento mori. I heard you talking about memento mori, and that just keeps you grounded. So I want to talk a little bit about knowledge. Why getting more knowledge helps you to be who you are. And then I'll ask you your last question, and then I'll let you go.
Amazing. Yeah, no, I think it's a very important. It's crucial to kind of our development as human beings. I think that there's been so many people that have lived before us, and I think that's humbling, because their experiences haven't been that different in a sense that they were human beings, right? And a lot of successful people, more successful than any of us, has lived before us. And
that's
what
right.
we can do now that they've gone is learn from the knowledge that they've passed on to us. So that's how I see it. It's more of just how can I take part in that process of developing myself through people that have been through similar experiences in better fields. So I try and read as much as possible, just to grow my mind, to help my critical thinking.
That's right.
And I really recommend it for everyone. It's you know, it's definitely one of the better things that I can take part of, like besides work, you know. And it also adds to my daily work schedule, you know. Just being able to think more clearer and you know, process information better. So yeah, Ego is the Enemy. Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday was a huge book for me.
Yeah.
He's a part of the Stoic movement.
Yeah, it's Stoic. Yeah, yeah.
A lot of people think it's you know, it's quite boring and it's quite.
No, it's not. It's not.
No. I commend him a lot. I commend the movement a lot. I think Stoicism it's powerful because it enables you to step back from any situation that you're in and say, you know, how important is this really?
Yeah.
You know, and memento mori, you know, just understanding that everything will pass is also extremely powerful, because it's like, even when you have the highs, you know, I get really excited when I close a deal.
Yeah.
But then I step back and say, okay, but like at the end of the day, all of this one day is going to vanish. So I can't of course I enjoy the moment, but I don't let it get to my head.
That's right. It gives you a level of humility as well.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the Ryan Holiday part of things. And then Rich Dad Poor Dad, that's a classic. You know,
that's a classic, man. That's a classic. That's a classic.
So I'm actually grateful I read that, because that was a bit of a tough read getting through in the beginning.
Yeah.
But it really made me understand the concepts of money a bit different. You know, I was seeing money as just an exchange of time, and it really makes you understand that you shouldn't necessarily be exchanging your time for money all the time, because that's not how you're going to build that generational wealth, or even wealth in general. You have to figure out ways to, you know, almost make, like you said, make money whilst you're sleeping, in essence, or just be making money that doesn't require you to constantly be substituting your time for you know, a hardcore 9 to 5. Obviously, there's a sacrifice of time that has to be involved, but I think he makes you step back and really kind of look at that from a bird's eye view, as opposed to just being in it and trying to figure how you could climb ladders. So that was
that's very powerful. That's very powerful, and I think that book also helps you balance it, even when things don't go your way. Maybe like you lose a sale, you just reinterpret it, like you know, like they said in Game of Thrones. Somebody said in Game of Thrones that the pit is not chaos. No, the person said that chaos is not a pit; it's a ladder.
That's very true. That's very true.
All right. So last question for you. Toby, you dress really, really well. And I like classic clothes.
Thank you.
I like classic menswear. If I wasn't doing what I was doing right now, I would have been a tailor. I would have been making clothes for men.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Nice. I like it. So I study it. I have books on clothes. I like the 60s a lot.
Okay, so
yes. Classic gentleman tailoring. Yeah. So in what way, as dressing well, because I've looked at your videos and you really, really dress well. Has it helped to enhance your brand, to attract new leads for you, to bring respectability to the conversation, to make the clients take you seriously, because you reflect what you sell?
Yes.
Has that helped you? Yeah.
I think 100%, Paul. It's been huge. I think that, you know, the way that you present yourself to people is really going to be a reflection initially for who you are and what you're about. I know a lot of people, they don't like to hear, people judge you by your cover, or people judge a book by its cover. But the reality is, until you open your mouth, no one knows who you are. All they can do is see you. That's it. You know, and most people might not get a chance to hear you open your mouth. So what we can do is present ourselves in the best possible way.
That's right.
You know, so to answer that, Paul, I definitely think that presenting myself well has helped me. It also helps me to feel confident. You know, when I'm dressed well, I feel more confident in a situation. So it's just doing everything I can to make sure that I can perform the best that I can. So sometimes I might not wear a full suit.
Yeah.
I'll still wear my blazer, but I'll wear a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Or I'll make my clothes for the most part fit my body
That's right.
reasonably well. I
That's
don't
right.
wear anything too oversized. And that's just because I want to present myself in a way that I like, but also in a way that I think will present myself as best as possible. Because at the end of the day, I'm meeting, important clients every day. Influential people. They're typically not surrounded around people that are dressed back. Right?
That's right. So that's very important.
When you're thinking about the grander scheme of things, who is your potential client sitting down with every day? Are they in jeans and t-shirts and trainers and hoodies? What is their lifestyle like, and how could you fit into that puzzle if these are going to be people you do repeat business with? So there's many angles to it, but I think the most important one is making sure that you're confident and presenting yourself best. I think it's huge.
Fantastic. This has been a fascinating conversation. I always ask my guests that if they enjoy the conversation, is there do you have a friend that you say that you know what, I enjoyed speaking with this gentleman, I want to recommend you to Paul's podcast? Who would that your friend be?
Ooh, that would have to be a gentleman called Tobias Alexander Rose. So similar name, but he's Tobias, the formal Toby Tobias.
All right.
He's a business owner, and he's from the UK. He's from London. He sells property, just like me. Fantastic chap. So I definitely recommend him.
Tobias Rose. I'm gonna message him and say, Toby sent me to you.
100%.
Thank you, Toby, for the time. I'm really, really grateful. I really enjoyed the conversation. I really, really enjoyed the conversation myself. I learned a lot here. One big moment for me were two things that you said when you said TikTok is a website. It's not an app. I was like, yo. And then another deep thing that you just said when you said that, you got to think about the fact that who are the kind of people that surround your clients? Because they're used to seeing those kind of people dressed properly. So you've got to look the part.
Exactly.
So I thought that was brilliant. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best. So where do people follow you more for more information? TikTok, Facebook, where?
Yeah, on Instagram, I'm Toby Albert. On TikTok, it's London Real Estate. And,
all right.
Feel free to reach out to me, guys. Mostly on those platforms.
Brilliant. So let me stop the recording.